I don't want to be strong like man who look pretty. I want to be strong like bitch that fight bears in the forest.
Welcome to another episode of Bitch vs. Bear with your hosts, Amber.
Me?
And me, Sydney. Woohoo! Co-owners of Shield Maiden Training Co. This is a show where we bitch, laugh, and chat about all things fitness and wellness related to women in the LGBTQIA plus community.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about today? Oh, no.
We are talking about something that I think most of us, especially heading into this time of year, probably need.
Okay, yes.
And that is taking care of our minds while working out. So really we're talking about anti-anxiety workouts. They started like coming up a lot, like when I was just like reading and doing some research on other things, and I was like, what is this trend? And apparently this is something we tout all the time.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So
We're trendsetters.
We're trendsetters. Exactly. Yeah.
Hashtag goals.
These are exercises specifically designed to help reduce stress and anxiety. And
I love it.
Like I said, they're a trend. They're getting a lot of buzz, and we're going to essentially break them down for you, what they are, why they're so popular, and how they impact women and LGBTQ plus communities. I realized when I was writing this episode, we talk about them probably 90% of our episodes. We talk about this topic without actually identifying it. So this is fun because we're going to get into it a little bit more and
That's
actually put a name to it.
What?
What?
I'm so excited. Awesome. Okay, so anti-anxiety workouts have been a huge part of my routine, apparently. It's not just about toning your body anymore, right? We know this. It's about toning your mind too.
You're welcome.
Won't lie, I'm heading into this one a little blind. It's okay. I got too excited about the last episode. Got distracted from reading this one.
Haha.
So, anti-anxiety workouts are exercises or fitness routines specifically focused on calming the mind while moving the body. Sound familiar? Yeah. Think yoga, Pilates, walking meditations, some kinds of strength training, and even rhythmic cardio like swimming or dancing. These aren't your traditional high intensity, no pain, no gain. There should never be any pain in your workouts. Instead, they're all about reducing cortisol levels, your stress hormones, and boosting those feel-good chemicals like endorphins, serotonin, and dopamine. It's about connecting your body and slowing down the mental chatter. Love that.
Yeah. And I think, like I said, this is perfect timing.
Right?
I mean, there's the post-pandemic anxiety, work stress, holiday season pressures. It's no wonder people are craving workouts that help them calm down instead of amping them up. Like, the idea of going into a workout class with like music bumping and like just everyone like sweating and panting, like, no, I'm not here for that right now. Like, there are times of the year when like, yeah, that's fine. Heading into the cooler months, like with all the holiday stress that's coming up, like, no.
It's not for you. Mm-mm. The rise of anti-anxiety workouts is a direct response to the chaotic, high-stress lifestyles so many of us are living. With more awareness of mental health, people are realizing they need their workouts to do more than just keep them physically fit. They want emotional balance too.
I know I do.
That would be nice.
Yeah. Physical balance and emotional balance.
And physical fitness first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like self-care wrapped in movement. That's adorable.
I know, right? Like that's what it made me think of when I was reading about these and learning, and I was like, wow, we talk about these all the time. But like, yeah, self-care wrapped in movement. Like, a nice little blanket of.
There might even be a blanket yoga on our YouTube.
Oh, there definitely is.
We're talking here about slower, intentional movement that helps center you rather than the traditional push harder mentality.
Yeah.
We want to slow it down a little.
And when I was thinking about this, like I thought a lot about like climbing, because you can only really be physically present in what you're doing. Like it's really hard to think about other things while you're climbing, because then you just fall off the wall.
Yes.
So like I, when we're talking about this, that's kind of also where my mind went, not to just like things like yoga, but like, okay, what are some other activities that have the same kind of concept? And I think that there has been, and there will continue to be, a shift in how fitness spaces operate. Like gyms are starting to offer more mental health focused classes, like guided meditations, breathing work, and mindful stretching. So like you even see apps popping up with daily mental wellness routines, like how to like slow down, breathing work. It's really not just about looking good anymore. It's about really that more of a holistic feel good. And I think that, for us is a major win. It's something we talk about all the time.
Yeah. Trendsetters.
Exactly.
I love it.
I finally get to be a trendsetter in my life.
It's happened. I love that. Yeah. The fitness industry is catching on.
Yeah.
And for a good reason. Anxiety and stress are through the roof for so many people. And they're looking for fitness solutions that help ease their minds, not just shred their abs, which, like, who even does that? It's so much energy. Whether it's anti-anxiety yoga classes, calming Pilates. I feel like Pilates is not that calm. Have you been to a Pilates class? It is not yoga.
I know. I understand that. But no, some places now offer, like, they have their regular Pilates and then they have calming Pilates.
Oh my God. That's
like
amazing.
It's an actual like thing.
That's great. Okay.
So like Pilates light, I guess. I don't know.
Pilates light.
I guess.
Chill Pilates? Restorative Pilates?
I don't know if any Pilates is restorative.
I mean, yeah, just go to yoga. It's fine.
Yeah.
It could even be things like, a nature-focused activity like hiking or outdoor group walks. People are finding ways to break a sweat while also soothing their nerves. And here's where it gets really interesting. I feel like anti-anxiety workouts hit a sweet spot for women and the LGBTQ plus community in particular. I assume you think so as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think women tend to experience higher rates of anxiety than men. And I do know that. And interestingly, because of research in this episode, I created another episode for later in the month that talks more about this.
Ooh.
Yeah. So between social pressures, balancing careers, family relationships, and of course, self-image,
right?
It's all of that is a lot to carry. Like that is a big load.
It is, yes.
And the thing about these workouts is that they provide a non-competitive, body positive space to just actually breathe and unload some of that. And like you said, it's not about getting shredded anymore. Like I don't get the sense that the fitness industry is focused on that.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a lot of things that people are doing that's like strong is sexy, and age is aging in place, and having the strength to be able to be older and like maintain your lifestyle, and how do you feel grounded in your everyday life, which I think really resonates deeply with women. Like so much is put on us, and then of course you have the body positive aspect, which is huge. And I think it's really refreshing to see workouts that aren't tied to losing weight or fitting into a specific pant size or dress size. I think back to like commercials when I was a kid, and it was like,
right,
lose 10 pounds in 10 days to fit into that your perfect going out dress or whatever it was. And exactly. It was so that you don't see that anymore. Yeah. And if you do, it's pretty ostracized. Like people are like, no.
And I think I do think these spaces tend to be, like you said, more body positive. There is more body, there are just more bodies represented
Yeah.
and it is much more accepted, and they're not like super technical stuff. They're not, you have to come in with a certain level of strength and cardio to keep up and to feel like you can do it already. Where, you know, things like yoga, things like meditations, like you just come as you are,
Yeah.
and that's enough.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, even just that is already, you know, a balm to our nerves, because you're already going into like, right, okay.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like,
I don't have to be a certain way. I don't have to have a certain fitness level already.
yeah.
Like, I'm just coming in and I can do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, thinking about it in that way of like when you're going into that kind of intensity workouts, like there's a little bit of that fight or flight mentality.
Yeah.
And so like that brings anxiety, right? And then so it makes sense that going into workouts that are more accepting and, you know, more come as you are, that's going to be calming to your nerves. And then you're going to see a huge benefit from that, and you're more likely to return to that environment
Yes.
because you haven't been put into an anxiety state ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to push yourself in a workout to
Yeah, which is great.
create that, but if you're already like amped up before you even walk through the door, like that's
Yeah.
probably not a great idea.
Like, I used to get nervous just on the drive to CrossFit. And then, like, I'm there and I'm already like, oh no,
Oh no.
I have to do this thing that is super uncomfortable for me in a space that's really uncomfortable for me. And I don't feel like I fit here, and I don't feel like I can do what I'm supposed to be doing here. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when I go to a yoga class, I'm like, this is going to be lovely.
That's how I feel about climbing.
Or
Like,
climbing, yeah.
I will get anxious on the wall because of like, you know, I'm
Oh, yeah.
high or it's a move, you know, like I'm in the crux of a move or something like that. But I'm never nervous on my way there. I'm
No.
never like amped up or like, oh, what's the workout going to be? Or like what,
Yeah.
like I have so much also autonomy and choice in that of like, this is where I am today. I'm not climbing anything hard today. I just want to move, or I
Yeah.
want to push myself today. And, you know, having that is really nice.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beneficial for women, especially in realms where we don't get a lot of choice. Having choice over how you move your body and the state you're in when you go into movement is incredibly beneficial.
Because we can move our bodies now. We found that out in the last episode.
We can, yeah. We've created undergarments that allow us to now breathe better.
Until we have to put in the sports bra to go do the sports.
Yeah, that's true.
It's fine. All right. So, and, you know, along with women, the LGBTQ plus community often faces unique stressors too, right? From dealing with discrimination to navigating identity and feeling pressure to conform to certain body standards within queer spaces. That's no good.
Yeah.
We don't want that. These anti-anxiety workouts offer a safe and inclusive space for people to work on their mental and physical health simultaneously, which is so good. We love that.
Yeah.
It's more about that connection to yourself, that connection between mind and body, than conformity, which is so needed in the fitness world.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, everything we just said above about being in a body positive and accepting space is doubly true for, I would guess, for LGBTQ plus folks.
Yeah, I think for LGBTQ plus folks, there's this added layer of needing safe spaces, both physically and emotionally, because of all of the other outside spaces are really not made for them, right? Like we talked about that a lot of like we're existing in spaces that were not designed for us. And so having those kinds of workouts create that non-judgmental supportive environment where
Yes.
the focus really is on the mental health and body appreciation.
Yes.
So I think like that is such a positive thing. And, you know, whether you're working out in a group class or at home with an app, like it's really about feeling good in your own skin. And for so many LGBTQ plus folks, that's really affirming because many of us have not felt okay in our own skin,
Yeah.
at least for a portion of our time, right? Because
Yeah.
like there is you know, when we hear the term coming out, there's so many things about that term
Yeah.
that are true. You know, we often in queer culture say, you know, like you have this like rebirth, and you get to experience things in a different light when you come out, because you get to be authentically you. So
Yeah.
like, depending on when you came out, it kind of starts that all over again. So you often
Right.
find that like queer folks are behind in some like societal things. So like often like getting married later, having kids if they choose to have children, because we have to go through double cycles.
Right.
It's like it's like when you're doing the washing machine, like when everybody else like gets transferred over to the dryer, we have to go through another spin cycle because we came out, and we have to figure out things that happened but in a new context.
Right.
And so I think, you know, having spaces where that doesn't have to happen, or we're affirming our bodies, we're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. Like you don't need to spin again.
Yeah.
Like you can just be.
You can just be.
You can just exist in this space and in this time and in your body. And I think that's so important.
It is incredibly important because it happens so infrequently.
Oh,
Like
that.
it's really nice to just like pick up and be like, oh yeah, I know how to be in this space. You know, and a lot of times there's a lot of gym spaces that we haven't felt that way, but I think the trend that's happening in the fitness industry and just like societally
Yeah.
with this mental health is helpful in that regard.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love that. I hope my yoga class is a space that people can come and be in. I know not many of them do, but if they do come,
Yes.
they can come and be.
Just come be.
Just come lay on your mat. I don't care. Do what you want.
Truly, she doesn't.
Like I zero fucks given in my yoga class.
Yeah.
Should be the name of my yoga class.
It should be.
We've noticed that some gyms and wellness centers are specifically tailoring their anti-anxiety classes to marginalized groups. We spent too much time off topic and now I can't talk.
Yep.
We weren't off topic. We were on topic. We were just sidetracked from the script.
True.
Shocker. So, like women's only mindfulness boot camps, that feels like an oxymoron.
Yeah, it's kind of, but there are several of them. It's really weird.
How about a mindfulness camp? A mindfulness retreat?
A mindfulness retreat. Yeah, there.
Or LGBTQ plus yoga nights. This shift towards inclusivity, mental health awareness, and just calm is really where fitness is heading. And I love that. It's so refreshing to see more fitness professionals focusing on mental wellness. We love this. We want to see this everywhere in all gyms. Trainers and instructors are learning more about the mind-body connection, and they're adjusting how they lead their classes. It's not just about pushing people to their limits, but recognizing when someone might need to scale back and focus on their mental health instead of pushing their body harder. And that's a huge change to the industry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really do think the days of go hard or go home are kind of like done with, or at least getting a makeover.
I would always choose go home.
Yeah, I think most people in now would, and I think that's, yeah, it's such a change of pace. Like I think it's more like go gentle, stay mindful. Like people are very much, I think about this, you know, when we were doing CrossFit over the summer, even the coaching style there, where people were like, you know, depending on the day that you had, it's okay if you need to modify or adjust, you know, maybe you had a really physically demanding or mentally demanding day. Like maybe this is, you know, you're in the middle of budget season or whatever it might be. And in recognizing how much of that plays a part in what you're physically able to do in the gym space.
Yeah.
And I think there's still room in this environment for high intensity workouts.
Oh, absolutely.
But we're seeing people start to realize that those kinds of workouts can be a form of therapy. Like some days you want to go in and be like, I want to sweat. I want to kick my own ass.
Yeah.
Rather than like punishment for eating a cookie. You know, like I think that
Yeah.
shift has happened where they're like, you know, I see myself doing it, right? When we're climbing and I'm like, you know what? Today I didn't do a whole lot and I'm just feeling like I got some pent up energy and like my mind is like kind of going and I need an outlet.
Yeah.
And so those are the days that I'll take that opportunity
Yeah.
to like push hard and do more high intensity, challenge myself.
Yeah.
But it's never about like what I ate that day.
Yeah.
The days of like, oh, well, today was my cheat day, so tomorrow I have to run extra. Like, no,
No,
that bullshit is over with.
done. We are done with that.
We are done with that.
And yeah, totally. I agree. Like there's definitely space for those days where you actually need to disconnect the mind body connection. It's like my mind, it's too much. It's too much. I just need to turn it off and like just let my body move.
Yeah.
And I think that totally has a place too. It's just not as calming
Yeah.
for a lot of people. But yeah, I love it. You know, workout is therapy. I feel like we've talked about this a lot, obviously, as trendsetters in this arena. We have discussed how beneficial workouts are for our mental health. And you know, let's be real. Anxiety can make it hard to even get to the gym. You know, I always say in my classes, getting here was the hardest part, right? Like
Yeah.
just showing up. And if you're dealing with racing thoughts or feeling overwhelmed, the idea of going to a hardcore, high intensity class might just stress you out more, which is not what we want. We want to de-stress. And that's where the anti-anxiety workouts really shine. They're more approachable. They're less fear-inducing,
Yeah.
hopefully. Whether it's just taking a walk outside, doing some gentle yoga at home, or a 20-minute breathwork session. These are workouts designed to help you feel better mentally. And it's all about accessibility too. We love accessibility. You don't need fancy equipment or a gym membership to get into an anti-anxiety workout routine. You can do a simple stretch series, practice mindful breathing, or even do a 10-minute walk around your neighborhood. Check out Shield Maiden YouTube for some yoga videos.
Yeah.
It's about moving your body in a way that feels good and can help calm your mind.
Yeah.
I really love that.
These workouts have really had such an impact on the fitness industry as a whole, and the trend that we have set. You know, seeing such a huge shift in marketing and programming and even app development. Like there's so many apps out there. Mental wellness is becoming just as important as physical wellness. And that's a really big win for everyone.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, especially for communities that often have been left out or made to feel othered. You know, we all know who those are in traditional spaces. So the rise of anti-anxiety workouts shows that fitness is evolving. Woo! Woo! We love that. We're trendsetters because we started the podcast and we started Shield to help it get there.
Yeah.
And whether, you know, you listen to us or not, share with your friends, make sure you help the fitness industry evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, you know, that direction of no longer just about looking fit. It's really about balance, and we talk a lot about balance.
Yes.
And I think that's where, for lack of a better word, the magic happens, right? Like when you can balance the physical, the mental, and the emotional, creating those safe spaces, creating an opportunity for gentleness and kindness and appreciating your body, but also challenging yourself physically. And I really think if you're out there and you're listening and you haven't tried incorporating some of these types of workouts into your normal routine, we highly recommend it.
Yes.
And I know that your mind and your body will thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
I think these kinds of anti-anxiety workouts are so important. For that balance. Yeah, we love balance.
We love
All about
balance.
it.
We're all about the balance.
It's so good.
I wish I had better balance. I'm working on it.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, rate, leave a review, all the things on your favorite podcast platform, on the social medias, all the places. And remember, whether you're lifting weights or lifting each other up, let's keep breaking barriers, building strength, and embracing our rainbow of resilience. Until next time, bitches and bears, stay fierce and stay fabulous.